First things to do with your Steam Deck. Now this is really going to come down to preference, what type of games you like, and are you willing to get your hands a little dirty. I say that because I have the knowledge to go ahead and tell you how to completely deck out, no pun intended, your Steam Deck. In this video, I'm going to cover the steps that I did to completely maximize my gaming experience on my Steam Deck. So when you get your Steam Deck, the first thing you're going to want to do, depending on the model of Steam Deck you've gotten, whether it's an OLED or whether it's an LCD model, you're going to want to upgrade the SSD. Now if you got a Steam Deck OLED and you have a terabyte hard drive on there, this is no use to you because you already have enough space. Now this is completely optional. The reason why I say to upgrade your SSD is because one, you get more space. Games nowadays take up a lot of space, multiple gigs. Plus two, if you upgrade your SSD, you can also potentially go ahead and install or dual boot Windows on it. I see a lot of mixed comments about Steam Deck having SteamOS on it, or having Windows on it, or even having both on it. Right now, currently, I have both Windows and SteamOS running on my Steam Deck. But like I said, it comes down to preference. I want Fortnite running natively on my Steam Deck, and I want Call of Duty running natively on my Steam Deck, not through xCloud. By having Windows on my Steam Deck, I'm able to play those games without any major drawbacks. Upgrading the SSD on your Steam Deck is very easy. This requires a small screwdriver set. You can get it from any hardware store, and there are plenty of guides out there that will show you step by step on what you need to do to replace your hard drive. If you decided to not go down that option, let's say you just bought a brand new Steam Deck, and let's just say that you don't feel like opening it up yet, there are still a lot of things that you can do. The first thing you're going to want to do is install Decky Loader. With Decky Loader, you can load in a whole bunch of plugins, customize your Steam Deck to the way that you want it. With Decky Loader, I've used it to go ahead and get custom boot animations as well as suspended animations. Because I'm a huge Metal Gear fan, I have a custom Metal Gear boot animation. I've also changed the sounds of the user interface, making it sound like a PlayStation 5 or making it sound like a PlayStation 4 or even a Nintendo Wii. That plugin, that mod, is the first thing you should put on your Steam Deck when you get it. Now the next mod that I have will be a hardware mod, meaning you will have to take your Steam Deck apart, at least the back plate, for this particular mod, and that is to upgrade your hard drive. Currently I have the Steam Deck LCD model, and when I purchased it, it was a 64 gig model. As you know, with modern day gaming, these games hold a lot of gigs, so 64 gigs is definitely not enough. I went on Amazon and got me a terabyte hard drive for the Steam Deck, and this mod is fairly easy. Taking the screws out of the back plate and you'll be left with the internals of the Steam Deck. You don't have to do much, but just disconnect the battery and go ahead and take off the plates to get to the hard drive. Now the third mod is pretty high on the difficulty chart, changing the housing of your whole Steam Deck. Not skins that you place on your Steam Deck, I mean the actual frame, the actual shell. Now I say it's pretty high on the difficulty chart because of the simple fact that you have to take off your screen. I took off my screen and I cracked it at the bottom right corner. And this process is very tedious. If you haven't done one yet, or if you're thinking about doing it, you're gonna have to consider having a whole bunch of hours set to do this whole process. You need to take your time and look at that video through and through, do each step one at a time. The Steam Deck has a lot of ribbon cables, it has a lot of screws. I got my custom red shell from extremeraid.com. If you decide to do it, I do want to let you guys know you need to go ahead and map out how you want your Steam Deck to look before doing it. Because with my Steam Deck, of course it's originally black, but what I did was I left some black elements on my Steam Deck, like the buttons, the bumpers, the triggers are red, and of course the whole Steam Deck is red. The left mouse pad is red and the right action button is red, making it more customizable to me. I said this because once you put it back together, there's no way you're going to take it back apart. So you need to go ahead and map out how do you want your Steam Deck to look. Another must-have mod would be a software mod, and that is to put Windows on your Steam Deck. And I don't mean take off SteamOS. I mean dual boot Windows and SteamOS. And the reason why I do this is because there are games that I like to play that I cannot play on SteamOS. That would be Call of Duty, Fortnite, and any other game that has an anti-cheat system that Linux is not compatible with. I switch between SteamOS and Windows pretty regularly to play the games that I want to play. Upgrading your SSD is not the only way you can increase the space on your device. There is a micro SD slot that you can go ahead and put at least a 1 terabyte or up to 1.5 terabyte SD card in it. I currently have a terabyte SSD hard drive inside of my Steam Deck that I put in there personally, but then I also have a 500 gig micro SD card that's inside of my Steam Deck only for emulation. That's right, of course, with the Steam Deck you can emulate a lot of different consoles on your Steam Deck. PlayStation 1, GameCube, Wii, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Nintendo Switch, and the list still goes on and on. Game Boy, Nintendo 64. Now to install Decky Loader, you're going to want to hit your Steam button and go to Settings. Once you go into your settings, scroll down to System and locate System Settings. Activate the option that says Enable Development Mode. Scroll down to Developer. Under Miscellaneous, enable CEF Remote Debugging. Boot into your desktop mode by pressing the Steam button, go to Power and switch to Desktop. Once you're in desktop mode, click on the menu option and open up Console. If you haven't set up a password for your terminal yet, just type in password. Go ahead and hit enter, type it in again, but don't forget it. Once you set up that password in terminal, you're going to want to paste the following code and hit enter. After that's done, you can reboot back into gaming mode. Press the button on the right side of your Steam Deck with the 3 dots on it at the bottom. Scroll through that list and you're going to start seeing an option that allow you to install multiple plugins. Play with the options there and let me know what you think of it.